on everyone you meet. They come on the street and give their lives. We are the people. They want to take us alive. Manipulation, torture, murder, genocide, mechanics of death. All through the sky, a new heaven awaits. An afterlife of bliss. We must stand strong. We must resist. They come on the street. They spill their lives. We are the people. They want to take us
Oh man, I forgot to switch my camera. Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Saturday, June 28th, 2025, and you're locked in for the next hour of interesting news, commentary, and fun shenanigans. In the chat, we got Sanglan86 over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Rusty Rivers, welcome. Also on Rumble. And we have Shoban over on YouTube. Cheers and welcome to the three of you. Let's go ahead and yes, and then let's do one of these. Welcome to the three of you. And anyone else that's filtering in and joining us, please come on and say hi. Good having y'all with me. Yeah, it is Saturday, June 28th, and yeah, we've got a new month kicking off right around the corner. We have Independence Day coming up. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do as far as I tend to try to stream when there's a federal holiday. So I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do that day. I'm going to already have a pretty packed day, so I may not be able to stream. But if I don't, I might do like a double stream on Saturday, a double length stream or two streams. Maybe I'll do a Rumble exclusive. I'm not quite sure. The Independence Day is also a pretty important anniversary in my family. So hey, Shaban said, great sound trio. Glad you appreciate the sound effects. Um, so yeah, I've decided I'm going to work my job, my real life job, get some extra union bonus money for working on a holiday. So yeah, I really need the money. Uh, which look, that's not a call for y'all to start donating. Please don't. Please don't. uh, so yeah, I'm gonna fetch some money from that and probably have a pretty celebratory evening with the family. So heads up, I might not be able to do the 4th of July stream, but I will. I will at some point do my annual reading of the Declaration of Independence. I will do that stream, and I will at some point have a makeup stream for the Independence Day something or other. I'll probably do a Rumble exclusive at some point. Again, sorry that June has been pretty light on Culture Plate and Rumble exclusive streams with all my travel, with crazy stuff going on. It's just been a rough month. July looks to be pretty open. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're clicking that like button, and we'll continue building this channel and this community. One thing one thing that happened in June that I dropped the ball, I totally missed. I didn't notice. You remember we were getting all the crazy ICE riots in LA, all the crazy rioting, and they were threatened to riot in a bunch of other cities. And I came on this program and I said, be careful on Flag Day, June 14th, the Army's birthday. Be careful. Trump's wanting to have this big celebration in DC, and it turned out to be a pretty respectable, nice, normal gathering in Washington D.C. Um, but that day there were a lot of threats of this No King's Day protest on the 14th of June, and I did not notice. I did not notice that week the FBI came out with this video. I don't know if you've seen it on other programs, but this is kind of looking back 2 weeks later. Did you see this video?
Hello, I'm Bill Asaley, United States Attorney for the Central District of California.
And I'm Akil Davis, the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Field Office.
And I'm Tyler Hatcher, the Special Agent in charge of IRS Criminal Investigation here in Los Angeles.
The right to assemble and protest peacefully is protected by law. Unfortunately, we have seen individuals whose intentions are to cause damage and to assault law enforcement. For example, last week we arrested an individual who was charged with conspiracy to commit and aiding and abetting civil disorders. These violent agitators put peaceful demonstrators at risk.
Okay, so we're getting the FBI involved in the craziness that was happening.
The FBI and our fellow partners will continue to investigate individuals and organizations who are knowingly funding and committing acts of violence against law enforcement, as well as the destruction of property.
We are currently tracing money to determine who is providing funding for these riots. Funding crime doesn't just affect the criminals, it also disrupts entire communities. Each dollar funneled into illegal operations fuels violence, undermines law and order, and perpetuates fear. Make no mistake, we will identify and disrupt financial networks supporting these criminal activities.
Think before you act. The legal consequences for financing or aiding and abetting these crimes are harsh. They include imprisonment and fines.
If you have any information...
So you notice the last couple weeks have been a lot more peaceful, folks? Have you noticed? The last couple weeks have been a lot more peaceful? Yeah, I missed that video. Thank you to Colin Rugg for that video. And yeah, kind of makes you think. Now, it could also be that everyone's focused on the Israel-Iran stuff, but it's just kind of everyone stopped talking about the ice around that time. But that hasn't stopped. That hasn't stopped the left wing from continuing to have radical demonstration. In fact, just this past week, we talked about some of the goings on in New York with the mayoral race. Well, today in New York, all these wonderful people who voted for the presumptive nominee for New York mayor, all of these people who decided to cast that vote, they decided to celebrate in New York City today and the Dyke March, the New York City Dyke March. Yeah, and it's kind of exactly what you would expect. Let's see, where did that video go? Here we go. And Turning Point USA Frontlines, Savannah Hernandez, shout out to her, and I'll try to shout out to some, because we're gonna check out some of these wonderful videos of these absolutely normal Americans exercising their right to peacefully assemble, and we'll check out how peaceful and wonderful these beautiful Americans are. These wonderful Americans, starting with this video here from Savannah Hernandez. Boom. Okay, so right away you got a guy with boobs and a beard and yeah. Anyway, blue hair. You got a bunch of men in dresses. You got this guy wearing the American flag ripped up with holding a sign that says "God is a lesbian." And then, okay, what are they chanting here? Let's. God is a dyke. God is a dyke. God is a dyke. God is a lesbian. I mean, you do you, but I'm not trying to like. I'm not trying. I'm not fucking around and finding out, right? Oh my! And there's more videos from this event. Let's see. First off, we have. What the hell just happened? Okay, here we go. All right. Rusty River says, "Where's the diversity?" Yeah, it's all white men in dresses. Okay, so this one's from Ali X on X. Sorry, it's very loud. I'll try to regulate the volume here. So, it's a large crowd. There's someone with their breasts out. You see, there's a lot of Palestinian flags. Thought I saw a Ukrainian flag back there. Obviously, the rainbow flag. See, there's the Palestinian flag. There's a Palestinian flag. And of course, all the businesses had to put up their rainbows, as we'll see shortly. Yeah, all this rainbow stuff. Trans flag fans. Wait, was that? What's that one? Is that the asexual one or is that the pedo one? I guess they're all kind of the same. Got the trans flag there. Fuck fascists. You can't even read the other signs because they're all scribbled. All right. And then Ali X also shared this image. Free Palestine. Yeah. Because all these people would be definitely welcomed in Palestine. Yeah. Hang on, okay, here you go. Again from Savannah Hernandez and Frontline TP USA. This one, this lovely individual decided to show some love to the New York City Police Department. While holding a cross and a sign that said Mary Magdalene and God on the other side. Okay, and then you got this individual giving trans blessings dressed as a trans priest. And I'm going to pause it there because the next, you could already see, the next frame has some nudity. I'm going to go back to that. Sorry. Okay, so there's some nudity further in that video, and I'm just not gonna. And so you say then we have the same individual who was showing the love to the police officer there, then showing love to the doors of a church, and obviously the church is also displaying rainbow flags. So there you go. Disgusting. And of course, all these people taking pictures and just enjoying it and cheering, and and of course, look at the, notice what's this here in front of the church? Something children and families. Children, youth, and families. Oh, okay. The church loves children, youth, and families, yet they're displaying these flags and, yeah, allowing this to go on their steps. I mean, I guess they can't really control when there's a mob outside, having one of these weirdos. Anyway, there was one more thing I want to get into with this. And shout out to @RoarWomenNYC. I think this is a turf account, so these are feminists, I think. But they decided to do a gallery. Hey, the consultant over on YouTube, cheers and welcome. Good seeing you. Good seeing you.
Shut the fuck up! Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord.
I guess probably their highlight of the year for the attention. Yes. So yeah, Roar Women NYC decided to do a gallery. And again, don't hate on these people. Don't try to find these people. Don't necessarily go and mock these people to their face. But I did think it was interesting that Roar Women NYC decided to show us a gallery of some of the most beautiful women of the march. Rusty River says, "Fuck it, flood us again." And let's just look through this thread gallery here. So you got this lovely individual. Totally feminine. Oh, yep. Yep. You just can't tell. It's not possible. Yep. No way to tell. No way to tell. Yeah. If you're a straight man and you don't want to date this, you're transphobic. Yep. Not the only cat ears I saw today, unfortunately. Yeah, clearly marriage material, fellas. Oh yeah, here we go. Skirt goes spinny energy. There are no winners here. Yep, clearly. Screaming topless TRAs at Let Women Speak. Okay, so they were doing a Let Women Speak thing. Oh, look at the whiskers on this one. Look at the whiskers on that one. And then these are just men. Men at the Dyke Pride Parade. All right. So yeah, happy June, at least for a couple more days. Happy June, folks. Happy June. All right, let me drag that toward the end if we've got time. Don't want to do that story right now. Okay, so let's get into the title story. You may have noticed the title of the stream. We do have a title article every week on the show, and today's biggest news, the biggest news of the week, there have been several Supreme Court several Supreme Court actions, rulings, things that the Supreme Court has been very busy this week. You have the 6-3 decision requiring schools to allow religious-based opt-outs from LGBTQ materials. You have the court upholding Texas age verification for porn. And probably one of the most important rulings of the Supreme Court was its decision to limit federal district courts' ability to do nationwide injunctions. And as such, we've had a 6-3 ruling. For once, the conservatives, the alleged conservatives, Rusty Rivers isn't into lady penis. All right. Well, you're allowed to be a TERF. No, I'm just kidding. TERF implies feminist. You're allowed to be a, what do they call it? Transphobe. Yeah. So anyway, it was a 6-3 vote. And, I give Amy Coney Barrett and Roberts a lot of shit for being 2 of the 5 liberal women on the Supreme Court. But they actually voted conservative for once. And they allowed the liberal justices allowed Ketanji Brown Jackson, a good old Ketanji Jackson Brown. They allowed her to write the dissent. And we're going to get into this news story from the New York Post because Amy Coney Barrett then wrote the majority opinion kind of aimed at Ketanji Jackson Brown's dissent opinion. And the dissent opinion was all about how Donald Trump was going to use his power for evil, and this is creating a precedent of a dictator executive branch, right? And so let's get into this New York Post article. Amy Coney Barrett rips Ketanji Brown Jackson over dissent in birthright citizenship case. I guess this was okay. Conservative Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett stunned veteran bench watchers Friday with a blunt takedown of liberal justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's extreme dissent in the landmark birthright citizenship case, in which the Supreme Court curtailed lower court use of universal injunctions. We will not dwell on Justice Jackson's argument, which is at odds with more than 2 centuries worth of precedent, not to mention the Constitution itself, wrote Barrett, the court's second newest justice, in a jaw-dropping rebuke of her colleague, the newest justice. We observe only this: Justice Jackson decries an imperial executive while embracing an imperial judiciary. Yeah, the consultant. According to the left, the SCOTUS broke the law allowing Trump to be king. I guess I can live with that. I forget what I was about to. I was about to have a little tangent I was going to go on, but I'm not. Barrett had authored the majority opinion in the case, the most consequential on the docket this term, which gave Trump a major win by limiting the power of district judges to block his actions. Liberal Justice Sonia Sonia Sotomayor penned the main dissent. My bad. For the left flank of the High Court, which Jackson joined. So in the join, she was able to give this dissent opinion. From what I've heard, a lot of Jackson's dissent cited a bunch of bullshit. But let's see here. Jackson also wrote a concurring dissent that featured a heavy fixation on the potential practical ramifications rather than grounding or argument in legal theory. Here we go. It is not difficult to predict how this all ends. Eventually, executive power will become completely uncontainable, and our beloved constitutional republic will be no more, Jackson dramatically fretted at one point. Quote, quite unlike a rule of kings governing system, in a rule of law regime, nearly every act of government may be challenged by an appeal to law, Jackson wrote elsewhere. Quote, at the very least, I lament that the majority is so caught up in the minutiae of government self-serving, finger-pointing arguments that it misses the plot. Jackson went on to dismiss the question of whether universal injunctions were provided for by the Judiciary Act of 1789 as, quote, legalese that, quote, obscures a far more basic question of enormous legal and practical significance. May a federal court in the United States of America order the executive to follow the law? Do you get this? Do you understand how, stunning this whole thought process is? Oh, the Judiciary Act of 1789, which it's just legalese. We ain't got to worry about the legalese. We ain't got to worry about the precedent, because it might obscure a more basic question of what do we want to do about it now? Barrett's response in her opinion was almost mocking. Quote, because analyzing the governing statute involves, quote, boring legalese, Jackson seeks to answer a far more basic question of enormous practical significance. May a federal court in the United States of America order the executive to follow the law? In other words, it is unnecessary to consider whether Congress has constrained the judiciary. What matters is how the judiciary may constrain the executive. Justice Jackson would do well to heed her own admission. Everyone from the president on down is bound by law, Barrett continued. That goes for judges too. Whoo! While Barrett gave lukewarm praise to Sotomayor for focusing her dissent on conventional legal terrain like the Judiciary Act of 1789 and cases on equity, she rounded on Jackson 54 for adopting a, quote, startling line of attack that is tethered neither to these sources nor, frankly, to any doctrine whatsoever. Waving away attention to limits on judicial power as, quote, mind-numbing technical query, she offers a vision of the judicial role that will make even the most ardent defender of judicial supremacy blush, Barrett wrote. Meanwhile, Jackson opted not to include her opinion with the common phrases I dissent or I respectfully dissent, an apparent sign of her fury at her colleague's ruling. It is not something we see every day. Some weird Republican Iowa Attorney General, okay. Brianna Byrd. Oh, okay, so she was one of the ones. Okay. Byrd stressed that Barrett can find her critique to legal differences rather than personal attacks. Holy shit, this is about as brutal as I've ever seen SCOTUS be to one of their own, attorney Costas Moros wrote on X in response to the Imperial Judiciary quote. Translated, quote, you are so stupid that you aren't even worth responding to. Oh, damn. Cheers and welcome to Late Night Ramblings over on Rumble. Good seeing you. Welcome.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Hey. All right. The fact that 6 justices were okay with signing on to an opinion where Justice Barrett took a personal shot at Justice Jackson is strong indication that Jackson has alienated her colleagues and there's a growing lack of respect for her work, said an ex-user. Okay, like I give a shit. 3 lower courts have stayed Trump's January 20th executive order narrowing the definition of birthright citizenship, which the 14th Amendment states confirms automatic naturalization on individuals born in the U.S. after concluding the executive action was likely unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has not yet addressed the merits of Trump's order, only the power that courts had to enjoin it. And I would even argue to enjoin it nationwide, not necessarily to enjoin it. Okay. So that's the big story of the day, folks, man. Look, I give Amy Coney Barrett a lot of shit. She votes with the other women on the court way too often in issues of the LGBTQ stuff, in issues of gun rights, in so many important key issues to conservatives. She has voted with the other 4 liberal women of the court. And the fact that Ketanji Jackson Brown just totally fumbled the bag, mentally fumbled the bag in dissenting on this judicial power versus executive power, this checks and balances question before the Supreme Court. Like I heard, like at one point she may have cited MSNBC in her opinion, but refused to cite any case law, refused to cite the Judicial Act or the Constitution. Folks, we can only hope that we keep winning these kinds of battles. Now, again, giving Trump more power, giving him the power to end birthright citizenship at the whisk of a pen, I'm not necessarily for that either. I definitely think birthright citizenship needs to end. I would prefer all 3 branches of government be moving forward with efforts to do it. I don't want to see a king in the White House. But I'm sick and tired of activist judges thinking they can be kings. And Amy Coney Barrett's opinion, I gotta agree with it here. I gotta agree with Amy Coney Barrett. Ketanji Brown Jackson, hey, you're so narrow on this shit. Consultant says, I am, let the man do what he was put in office to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Me too. But we do have 3 branches of government, and the other 2 do need to be involved in governing. It can't all be at the whisk of a pen from Donald Trump. I mean, for God's sakes. You know, I'm going to be talking about the one big, beautiful bill here in a minute. And if Thune and Speaker Johnson were doing their job, the conservatives wouldn't be so divided over this bill. And we'll get into this here in a few minutes. First, I want to get into Elon Musk news, though. Let's shift gears a little bit away from government for just a minute. The consultant says the other 2 are crooked. Well, yeah, that's half the problem. We need to fix our entire government. So I got to give a shout out to Elon Musk, and you know, Love him, hate him, whatever his recent political actions have been. This next story is going to be a little divisive because I'm divisive about it. A lot of libertarians are divided on, conservatives and libertarians are divided on Elon Musk because one of the scary things that conservatives are hesitant about with Elon Musk is his trust of technology, his trust of AI, his trust of so many things that people with a more traditionalist view of what they want to see in this country may or may not align with. And the Neuralink company has been a very divisive issue among conservatives and libertarians. But today, the Neuralink has reached a milestone. A paralyzed veteran has been implanted with Neuralink device by Miami Project doctors at the University of Miami. This is from the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis. A paralyzed United States military veteran has been implanted with the groundbreaking Neuralink brain-computer device by surgeons at the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis and Department of Neurological Surgery at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. This guy here, RJ, paralyzed due to spinal cord injury sustained from a motorcycle accident, is the fifth participant in Neuralink's PRIME study and the first to be implanted at the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis and Department of Neurological Surgery at UHealth. RJ successfully received his implant in April and was discharged from the hospital the day after his surgery. With his Neuralink implant, RJ is able to control his computer and smartphone with his thoughts. Neuralink's recent update highlighted how RJ and other participants in the PRIME study have used their Neuralink implants in daily life. The Miami Project and U of Miami principal investigator Jonathan Jagged, professional of clinical neurological surgery, neurology, orthopedics, and rehabilitation, said, quote, "We are excited as a team to discover how this device has the potential to change people's day-to-day lives. As a doctor and researcher, I continue to be encouraged as we learn more and more about the capabilities and possibilities of this technology." Dr. Deepan Parke called the procedure a milestone. Putting the latest technology in the hands of experts to break boundaries is what academic medicine is all about. Our surgeons are among the best in the nation to help take this technology to the next level. Seeing it benefit a patient so directly is the ultimate reward. The consultant says, I wonder if he knows any Avengers. The U of Miami team also included co-investigators Alan Levi, Michael Ivan, and Seth Tigchelar, a Miller School neurosurgery resident. Procedure was performed at UHealth Tower. Quote, "I'm proud of our Miami Project and U of M team who worked tirelessly with our Neuralink colleagues to help shape history, ultimately benefiting our first patient immensely. Undoubtedly, this will have an enormous impact on future patients," added Dr. Levi. RJ is thrilled with the surgery and his life following the procedure, as well as with the surgical team. Or at least that's what the computer told him to say, right? Quote, "They're giving my life spark back, my drive back. They've given me my purpose back. Now I'm able to turn around and build that fire for the next guys that come through. We're excited about this special collaboration with the amazing Neuralink team," said W. Dalton Tetrick, PhD. This collaboration, which has already resulted in the successful implantation of Neuralink's brain-computer interface implant into a spinal cord injured individual at the Miami Project, is a testament to our multidisciplinary approach for advancing the latest research in neural interfaces and neurorehabilitation. For this PRIME study, Neuralink is continuing to look for patients who have limited or no ability to use both hands due to cervical spinal cord injury or ALS. Individuals interested in learning whether they may qualify can join Neuralink's U.S. patent registry. All right, there you have it. Well, folks, what do you think? What do you think? If you were in an auto accident or you were in a motorcycle accident and you couldn't play on your phone anymore, would you get a brain chip to control your smart devices? Would you allow a computer to be networked into your neurological system? Darth Hideous. Oh, cheers and welcome to Darth Hideous on Rumble. Good seeing you. So cripples are going to use this to cheat at video games. Yes, they already are. They already are. Let's do a what do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
One moment. Since you mentioned it, I know I saw it. So his hands are flat. I don't know. This could be a doctored video. This could be someone else off screen. But yeah, allegedly, yeah, they're already playing video games with the Neuralink. There was I swear I saw a picture somewhere. Oh. Okay, here's another video. Yeah, so they're already gaming with this thing. Consultant says, I wonder if you can use it for ED. I imagine you could in some ways. Depends on the cause of the ED. A lot of ED tends to be caused by the enlarged prostate, which restricts blood flow. So it's less of a neurological and more of a blood flow thing. When they figure out the rewiring for the spine they're working on, that would actually give my limbs functionality, then I might consider the brain chip. First person shooters are so cooked, there's no way they're going to be able to compete with the reaction time of thought. Yeah. Like shoot that guy in the corner before your hand could move, man. He's already shot your back. All right. Oh, I should have did this with the other story. Damn it. I meant to do this with the other Supreme Court story. Folks, I'm sorry. I got my tabs backwards, damn it. From Reuters, immigrants scramble for clarity after birthright ruling. You know what? No, I don't even want to do this. I really don't even want to do this. Because this is Reuters. They're going to talk about, look, they got this lady named Lorena that they want you to cry over. Like I said, they haven't ruled on it yet. They've just, they just said that the lower courts can't, put an injunction against Trump for it. So let's go to Politico. Let's go to Politico and talk about the one big beautiful bill. Because Democrats are doing something that I kind of agree with. I kind of agree with this. Now, granted, This, in some ways, is just more political grandstanding. It's more delay tactics. It's more, delaying the inevitable. It's more bully pulpit kind of shit. But they're doing it in a way I kind of approve. So here we go. From Politico. The Democrats will force an out loud reading of the entire 940-page mega bill. It is expected to take 15 hours. Republicans did the same to Democrats in 2021. Chuck Schumer told fellow Democrats they will force the out loud reading of the One Big Beautiful Bill if the Senate votes to start debate Saturday. The maneuver, described by a person granted anonymity to describe private plans, is meant to slow down Senate passage of the mega bill and give Democrats more time to raise awareness of some provisions inside of it. The reading of the bill by clerks is provided under Senate rules, but is almost always waived by unanimous consent. Senate aides estimate reading the 940-page bill could take about 15 hours. When Ron Johnson forced the reading of Democrats' 628-page American Rescue Act in 2021, it took 10 hours and 44 minutes. Johnson said he bought the clerks a case of wine afterward. Schumer believes Americans deserve to hear exactly what's in this monstrosity. Permanent tax breaks for billionaires, millions of Americans losing health care and food assistance, and giving away fossil fuel companies and land sales to the highest bidder, all paid for by working families, the anonymous person said. So there you go. Consultant says, if you ever find yourself agreeing with a Democrat, then go get yourself checked out. Something's wrong. All the good demos are now independent of Republican. I'm assuming you mean independent or Republican. Yeah, well, I don't agree with the reasons they're doing it necessarily, but I believe in a transparent legislative branch. If you're gonna pass a bill, make it transparent. Speaking of agreeing with Democrats, I definitely don't agree with this next one. We got Governor Gavin Newsom gonna sue Fox News for $787 million for defamation. Gavin Newsom suing Fox News for $787 million for defamation. Newsom's allegations stem from Jesse Waters' coverage of the battle between the governor and Donald Trump when the Trump administration sent the National Guard to L.A. Waters reported on Fox News that Newsom lied about a phone call with Trump, and the governor claims in his lawsuit that Waters' show misleadingly edited a video of Trump to support the claim. Trump, asked by a reporter on June 10th when was the last time he had spoken to Newsom, replied, quote, a day ago, called him to tell him, got to do a better job, he's doing a bad job. Even though, according to Newsom, the last time they spoken was 3 days prior to that, on June 7th, Newsom said they'd not discuss the protests in question. Republicans are just Democrats in red tie-dye. Changed my mind. Yes, they are progressives going the speed limit, as the thing says, the saying goes. And you're a public figure, Newsom. Good luck with that. Consultant says seems to work with Trump. Why not? Hey, Gavin. Yep. After Newsom asserted on X that the two had not spoken on June 9th, as Trump appeared to have said, Waters, according to the lawsuit, accused Newsom of lying and played the video clip of Trump telling the reporter the two had spoken, but edited out the start of the clip where Trump said a day ago. Wait a minute, what? June 9th, June 10th, edit out the start of the clip where Trump said a day ago. Okay. If Fox News wants to lie to the American people on Donald Trump's behalf, it should face consequences like it did in the Dominion case, Newsom said in a statement, referring to the 2023 lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems. I believe the American people should be able to trust the information they receive from a major news outlet, Newsom said in a statement. Until Fox is willing to be truthful, I will keep fighting against the propaganda machine. In a letter sent to Fox, Newsom's attorney said that unless Fox issues a retraction and on-air apology, quote, we will proceed with the lawsuit so the jury can determine Fox News' culpability and assign a monetary value to its blatantly unethical conduct. Fox said in a statement, quote, Newsom's transparent publicity stunt is frivolous and designed to chill free speech critical of him. We will defend this case vigorously and look forward to being dismissed. Folks, this is obviously going to be settled here in a couple of weeks, right? Obviously. So, speaking of Trump and Trump's actions, we've kind of tiptoed around a lot of Trump's actions. Consultant said, I'd rather have Fox News lying on Trump's behalf than CNN lying. See, can we not have a lying fucking media? Can is that a choice? Can we have media and politicians stop fucking lying to us? Sorry, the consultant. I don't mean to yell at you necessarily, but yeah, can I eat a shit sandwich or maybe a vomit pudding? Shaban says this lawsuit is bullshit and so is the Dominion. Okay, so speaking of Trump, well, I guess this isn't really Trump. This could be Marco Rubio because he's in the picture here on the media's thing. But you know, hey, it's the Trump administration. We're making America great again, and we're not just making America great again. We are making Africa great again, people. We are making Africa great again as the Congo and Rwanda sign a U.S.-mediated peace deal aimed at ending decades of bloody conflict. Look at this. Look at this. Republic of Congo and Rwanda on Friday signed a peace deal facilitated by the U.S. to help end the decades-long fighting in the eastern Congo while helping the U.S. government and American companies gain access to critical minerals in the region. Yes. Today, the violence and destruction comes to an end and the entire region begins a new chapter of hope and opportunity, harmony, prosperity, and peace, President Trump told the foreign ministers of two countries at a White House meeting. The agreement was signed earlier at the State Department's treaty room beneath a portrait of Colin Powell, the first African American to hold the job of top U.S. diplomat. There, Secretary Rubio called it, quote, an important moment after 30 years of war. The Central African nation of Congo has been racked by conflict for more than 100 with more than 100 armed groups, most potent backed by Rwanda, that have killed millions since the 90s. While the deal is seen as a turning point, analysts don't believe it will quickly end the fighting because the most prominent armed group said it does not apply to it. Many of the Congolese see it mainly as an opportunity for the U.S. to acquire critical minerals needed for much of the world's technology after their government reached out to Trump in support for fighting the rebels. Trump has pushed to gain access to such minerals at a time when the U.S. and China are actively competing for influence in Africa. So there we go. There we go, folks. Consultant says, this is why I come to YouTube. I love it, the destruction of the modern media. Shaban says, isn't that why YouTube's popular? Yeah, well, isn't that why all alternative tech is popular? All right. Alternative media, I should say. But back to making America great again. Reported, Fox News, the damn liars they are, according to Governor Newsom, are covering the latest firings of prosecutors tied to the riot cases, the January 6th cases. The prosecutors have been fired by the Justice Department. Justice Department under Attorney General Bondi has abruptly fired at least 3 federal prosecutors involved in cases stemming from January 6th, according to multiple reports. Among those dismissed were 2 supervisory attorneys who saw Capitol riot prosecutions in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., and a line prosecutor directly involved in trying several cases, according to the AP, citing sources familiar with the matter. NBC News is also reported to have independently confirmed these firings. Prosecutors received termination letters signed by Pam Bondi. According to both outlets, the letters provided no specific reason for the removals, citing only, quote, Article 2 of the United States Constitution and laws of the United States. That phrase is often used in federal employment law to indicate the executive branch's constitutional authority to appoint or remove personnel. Fox News contacted the Justice Department but did not immediately receive a response. President Trump has repeatedly referred to the January 6 defendants as political prisoners, and on his first day back, pardoned or commuted the sentence of approximately 1,500 individuals who've been convicted or incarcerated in connection with the Capitol, quote, attack. Okay, the rest is just going to hash out more just every part of the January 6th stuff and the Trump administration. So yeah, as much as I give Bondi shit for not doing anything, she fucking did something. I gotta give Pam Bondi some applause. I gotta give Pam Bondi some applause. Now, I do question, why is it June? We're 6 months in, and we're just now rooting out the bad prosecutors in the Justice Department. Now, hopefully you've been spending this 6 months doing important work, but we'll never know. This thing that says if they were smart, they'd pass those letters down like metals. All right. Rusty River says, all drama, that's the fun part. Pay attention to the results. Speaking of drama, one more thing I wanted to bring up. There's been a lot of talk. There was a little controversy with the individual known as Mr. Beast this week. And there was a little controversy about AI art versus digital art creators. As Mr. Beast released a new app, an AI thumbnail generation tool for content creators. Oh, look. My damn camera just... What's going on? It keeps doing this. Okay, well... Rumble Studio, why are you so broken? Well, I'm just going to assume at some point it'll come back. In the meantime, I guess I'll bring up this image. So yeah, Mr. Beast created this app where people could generate AI thumbnails for their YouTube videos, for their content creation videos, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, whatever. And yeah, immediately people were like, yeah, this is going to hurt small artists. Well, and then he's like, oh, okay, I understand. And he backed off. And then now people are criticizing him for that as well. This is sort of a sign that you can't win. You can't win. You can't please everyone. Hang on. I'll be right back. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Am I live? Is there anyone left in my chat? Oh my Lord. I don't get this. Why is this not working? Yeah, now Rumble Studio just doesn't think I have a camera. In the meantime, let's get started on the Love Does Admonish. Screw the Mr. Beast and AI conversation I was wanting to start up. Can you folks even still hear me? It won't bring up my won't bring up my camera for some reason. Okay, well, let's do the Love Don't Judge. For those of you that are new here, there's a YouTube channel out there called Love Don't Judge. And we here at Mild's Culture Plate, we like to watch episodes of this show. And well, this show features people and their unique relationships. And in their relationships are often interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to do 3 things at once right now. Settings. In their relationships are often interesting and downright degenerate sometimes aspects of their relationship. And oftentimes these people have then taken to the internet and received a bunch of criticism. And now they're like, well, you can't judge me for what I do in my relationship or for who I love. And so we here at Miles Culture Plate, we like to look into their story and determine what kind of admonishment they might need. So let's go ahead and get into this week's episode, Love Don't Judge. It was Love at First Lap Dance. And what the hell? It's not bringing it up either. Rumble Studio's broken, folks. Either that or my Brave browser's broken. Hang on, let me see if I can get into... Let me see if I can do this on Chrome. Oh my God. Okay, I'll be right back, folks. Okay, can you hear me now? Hey, there I am. I'm back. Okay, so yeah, I'm using a different browser. Oh shit, that means I got to use a different browser for Love Don't Judge too. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Now we're brand. Oh my God. Is this going to give me ads? I don't know if I'm signed in on YouTube. I'm sorry for the shit show. Rumble Studios just broken. Okay, so here we go.
This is Shannon. She fell in love with Jordan.
I saw like a pop-up ad thing for like a Dream Boy show. I was just
he was the stripper.
And when Shannon was invited up on stage by one of the strippers.
Consultant says, I stand by my last statement. I don't even know what your last statement was because the chat history got erased when I had to refresh.
She never anticipated it would be love at first lap dance.
It beats everybody else's story where they're like, yeah, we met on Tinder.
Yeah, I met on a girls' night out to go and watch a bunch of strippers.
He's the stripper, Jordan, but she's the one
Shannon
not wearing a bra.
also decided to explore an alternative career.
I got into stripping.
Oh, now she's a stripper too.
About a year ago
She's
now,
a stripper
which
too.
Has raised quite a few eyebrows.
Some of the worst comments I've had because of being a stripper is mainly about being a mum. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Your child is going to be disgusted with you.
Hey, babe.
Rusty River says, sorry, but this is driving me nuts. What does your shirt say? Yeah, exactly. What does my shirt say?
Ever think when we first met, you'd have your very own dream boy cooking your breakfast?
I'm just kidding. My shirt says, I ride roller coasters to keep me sane. I went to the park today. I had to wear my roller coaster shirt to the park.
Yeah, that's why I went to the show.
4 years ago, Shannon met Jordan while she was
omelet?
sitting in the audience. And he was
See, they always show them cooking, and I'm always curious about their food. Because degenerates, I mean, they try to show them doing normal things, and I want to know if they're eating normal food.
Performing on stage with the dance troupe called the Dream Boys, who are known for
The
their
Dream
striptease
Boys.
routines.
Literally the minute I saw him at the show, I got on my phone and stalked him on social media. And I remember we were coming back from the break, and me and my friend had got a drink, and then the show had started again, and a few of the
Don't date your stalkers. Gentlemen, don't date your stalkers. Now, having said that, you can find me down in the description. There should be links to my social media accounts. Feel free to find me on there, ladies.
Boys started running down from the stage and scouting out girls, and then just dragged me up on stage, and the lights just literally went, and then Jordan just came out sliding on his knees and spun around in front of me. Apparently he scouted me out.
And when Shannon attended a meet and greet after the show, she bagged
Meet
her
and
Dream
greet.
Boy's mobile number, and they were pretty much inseparable after their first date.
What a story to tell.
I need to do more
Yeah,
meet and greets.
There was
I'm
900
just
people
kidding.
there that witnessed it.
It beats everybody else's story where they're we met on Tinder.
Yeah.
They're eating breakfast
on the
at
girls' night
10:20.
out to go and
Look,
watch a
it's
bunch of
10:20
strippers.
on their oven. It says it's 10:20, and they're just now eating
We've
breakfast.
been going on 4 years now, and we have a 10-month-old
Strippers
son.
start their day late,
This
and they got a
cheeky
kid.
chappy is Ruben, our son. You want to say hello? Say hi. Keep a smile.
Oh no! And look
Before
at the
I
kid's
met
shirt.
Jordan-
Look at the kid's
Say
shirt.
hello.
Look at the kid's shirt. A teddy bear with a hoodie wearing a fucking COVID mask. Grrr, your fucking mom's a stripper and you're fucking celebrating COVID masks. Oh my God. Don't spread disease, but also let me rub my fucking, oh my God, ass in your face.
Hello? Say hi. Keep a smile. Before I met Jordan, I was a healthcare assistant. I had always thought about a different career path, stripping in the sex work industry. So I approached Jordan.
Don't wear a bra, but wear a fucking face diaper. Oh my God.
And we had a conversation about it. Kind of just looked around at clubs to find one that I was comfortable with. Had a trial shift, and I actually kind of fell in love with it.
I am a professional dancer who happens to strip at the moment. When people ask what I do, I just full on go with I'm a full on stripper just to see their reaction. And most of them are shocked, which I like. It's fun.
I am a stripper.
Oh, I troll people, but I'm going to go on this show about how I don't like people when people are haters.
I guess it kind of depends on the type of person you tell. You will have some that will be like, oh, cool, yeah. And then you have some that will be like, oh, are you forced into that? Some of the worst comments I've had.
Worst comments. Here we go.
Being a stripper
Let's have it.
is mainly being about being a mum. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Your child is going to be disgusted with you.
Yes.
Whereas comments for Jordan, the women will come in and be like, oh my God, I saw pictures of your son and he's so beautiful and you're a great dad and everything you do is amazing and you look so good and you and your son look so perfect together.
We do look good together.
Very, very.
Okay, so she's being a hater that her man gets positive feedback and she gets haters because she's not being a mom. She's being a hoe more than being a mom. What, yeah, it's a gender double standard. But women find fatherhood sexy. Men don't mix the parenting and the sexy in their brain like women do. Parenting's look, be a good mom, that's attractive, but that's different than gyrating on stage attractive. That's keeper behavior versus sleeper behavior.
Different type of comments and reactions to us together having a child. Negativity, praise.
God,
for doing the same
giant.
thing, really.
I think it's your mum.
Mom?
Yeah, let's have lunch with mom with my nipples poking through my shirt.
Yeah. Thanks for looking after him so we can have a little time to ourselves, eh?
Yeah. Bye. We're just gonna go for a date night. Kind of just see how.
Oh no, mom's just babysitting so they can go out and hoe around.
Really?
All right. Oh no, I guess they're having a nice dinner. I retract the hoeing out.
Cheers. Here's to our first date night of 2022.
2022. Damn, this video's that old?
Love you.
And you notice it's 2022. They're not wearing face diapers, but they got their kid dressed up in.
So tell me,
fucking teddy bear wearing a face diaper
want to
shirt.
strip or decide to get into stripping? Like after being with me.
Like, as I said, it was just something that, like, I
follow your money and I want
kind of had an interest in and wanted to try. Maybe I thought that because obviously you do it yourself, like from a partner's perspective, you might understand it more.
So the thing that like mainly attracts me to stripping is the confidence it brings to women. Like you will have every different type of woman go in there, and every woman in there is like made to feel beautiful. Like you all pick each other up.
What?
It's amazing.
What? Still think mom's getting a lap dance before she goes home tonight. I mean, yeah, granted, look, they're in a relationship. They apparently enjoy each other's company.
Do you not care? Maybe what Ruben might think
call it
when
love.
Gets down to him when he's older, or what people might say to him.
Not really, like, because I feel like we're always going to be open with him and express to him, like, to love your body and be confident. And how, like, sex and everything is natural and...
Who cares what they think?
Exactly.
That's perv shit.
I actually enjoy
kid's gonna
some
get
of
touched
her
by a
stories from work.
stranger.
Like, I look forward to coming home. I find it actually brilliant, endearing, and for me, it does help with my job as well.
So ready to get back in my comfies.
Let's get back, get a fire going, get a cup of tea.
Oh, the mother-in-law getting a
How
lap
would
dance.
you
okay.
describe our journey over the past 4 years?
I would say very quick, fast moving, but like very naturally. Nothing felt rushed.
You happy?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'll cheers your tea to that.
Okay, I want to hear about her client.
Makes me feel more comfortable and confident doing what I do, to know that someone's got my back with it because they understand what it takes. So I feel like if you was just always a healthcare worker, it would have affected our relationship.
I don't think it would have worked in the end, in the long run, because we both would have worked
Healthcare worker.
crazy, hectic jobs. Like we would have never seen each other, just wouldn't have been on the same page.
We've achieved a lot that I've wanted to in life. So again, to the naysayers, and let's continue just taking our
They
clothes
bleeped
off,
out something.
bringing it into the family.
To hell with?
Last
Is that what he
cheers of the
said? To hell with the naysayers? Did they edit that out? Oh man, there's not enough info here to go on. Okay, yeah, they're just going to advertise their main channel. Okay, so I thought this was going to be a longer video, but let's break this down just a little bit. She hooks up with a stripper, decides this is empowering. I want to become one too. they get pregnant at some point, have a baby. Did the baby? I'm gonna make a prediction here. Again, I say a prediction. They've already lived this life, but I'm gonna let's see if I can mentally diagnose this here. She had a baby. She was feeling unsure about her body. Notice the whole empowering thing. There's women's of all types, and it's very empowering. She had a baby, was feeling unsure about her body. She hit the gym, got a little fit. Maybe he bought her new tits. I don't know. Decided, I do think I look good now. Let me see if I can shake it on the stage. But now the question is, how long can both of you keep this going? Now, men get, we age like pudding. Like sometimes it can get better after a while. Sometimes it can get, sometimes it gets more refined. Sometimes it gets moldy. So, it depends on the guy. This guy has the average, mixed race, chiseled features. I predict he's going to have a long career. She already looks faker than a $3 bill. She already looks held together with duct tape and staples. She's only got a few years in this. And my question is, what happens when those feelings come reeling back? When those feelings of being unsure about her own beauty and her own empowerment come hitting her like a brick wall, because that is literally the wall. Not literally, it's the figurative wall that so many red pill type commentators talk about when it comes to women aging. And again, I'm not saying I'm some chiseled stripper kind of dude. I'm not comparing them to me. They have a very blessed life compared to me, right? I'm not hating. Yes, the consultant says, can't wait to see what those lips look like in 10 years. Rusty Rivers says, better save your money. Your job's are early retirement. Yep. Yeah, that's literally what this kind of career is. And you know what? I wish success on them both. And sort of one of the features of my show and of this segment of my show is I do like to, examine this with my outlast the haters motto. And a lot of times, I commend some of the people on this show for doing a good job at outlasting the haters. Other ones, I'm like, eh. But this one, it doesn't seem like he has haters. And her hate, like she said, seems to be all about trying to be a mom and do this kind of sex work at the same time. Which, I can't tell if she's outlasting the haters or not. What I can tell is that she's not taking good advice and she's becoming a hater herself. And like I said, she kind of seems to be bothered by the fact that her man doesn't get the same treatment online. That could create bitterness, that could create jealousy, and especially if his career endures and hers does not. You're not outlasting the haters. You're imploding. You are literally imploding. And so I would suggest that these two folks find other avenues, find other outlets of not only entertainment, but, something to do with their days. Have great success at the stripping. Make all the money you can make now. Make huge investments. Build your life, build your nest egg, and quickly, very quickly, please change careers for the good of the baby. All right, folks, that's going to be the culture plate for tonight. I need to go eat some dinner. Going to take my lady out to a Irish pub. Love me some Irish pub. Not sure if I'm going to eat like some shepherd's pie or maybe some bangers and mash. I don't know, but I love me some Irish pub food. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't get that very often. Folks, if you can take a minute, click that thumbs up, click that follow if you're new. Watch a second video if you're new. Make sure your notifications are turned on. If you're on YouTube, hit that little notification bell down there. Follow me on all the social media down in the description so that you know when I'm going to go live again. I might be doing a Rumble exclusive stream at some point this week. Mondays I do over on my gaming channel. I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3. I say I've been playing it. I've been getting my ass completely kicked at it, and I don't know what to do at this point. But I'm going to keep trying. So you can find me there on Monday nights. I'm kind of trying to redo things, restart over. It is what it is. See me fail miserably. And yeah, big thank you to everyone. Cheers to everyone who showed up in the chat and said hi. Come on back every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, and come in, say hi, join the chat, join the party, get your chats read, get a sound effect played, and yeah, be right here. Also, big cheers and thank you to anyone who might be listening on audio only, and anyone who may be either lurking or watching later on demand. Love you folks too. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know you've been by down in the comments section. And yeah, folks, till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on ya. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. You know what? Let me go find someone to raid. Unless Sanglan has somebody queued up, I'll go find somebody to raid. Maybe, so we got Daramuth live tonight. Got some gaming streams. Looks like Dear Sarge is still live. Let's raid Dear Sarge. Yeah. Sanglant says Sarge is live, just as I find it. Okay, so we're going to raid Sarge. Folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast the haters. Don't get any on if you do rub that shit in real good. I will see you Wednesday or Monday. See you Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central, right here on Miles Culture Plate. Good night, everybody. Peace. Okay, that didn't appear to work. Oh, that's why. I'm in the wrong chat. Damn it. It would help if I'm in my actual own chat. There we go. Peace.